Jesse Thomas, another friend like me. So that was a little bit of some of the different parts that Jesse plays, and I'm going to walk you through those now. I'll walk you through the whole tune and talk you through the different sections that he plays. So right off the bat, let's just say that he has one verse accompaniment that he uses for 3 of the verses, and there's just one variant of that. So there's really, in terms of the accompaniments for the singing, there's accompaniment A, which he uses 3 times, and there's accompaniment B, which he only uses on the 2nd verse. And then beyond that, he'll play the first 2 verses and take a solo. He plays the 3rd verse and takes a solo. He plays the 4th verse and plays a final solo. And each of those 3 solo sections are different. So I'm going to walk you through the 2 different verses, and I'll walk you through 2 of those solo sections. And I'll leave the 3rd solo up to you guys to figure out for yourselves. Good luck with that. All right, so hopefully you've gotten the basics of this from the first tutorial, so I can just tear in now, no holds barred, as it were. So let's start off with the turnaround lick that he uses, as opposed to the slightly more simple version I demonstrated earlier. So right off the bat, we're going to go 2 fingers on the 3rd fret, 5th string and 3rd string, like so, down to the 4 chord. Alright, so you want to start that with a pop on the open string, the low D, and I'm pinching those 2 notes that I have fretted, and then catching the open high string. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then pulling off on the 4th string, 3rd fret. Okay, so pop, low bass again, alright? Sharp 5, down to the 5. One more time. And then you'd be back into the verse there. Let's cover a couple of little details there. You should already know how to play over the 1 chord. That's not changing. On the 4 chord, he sometimes, you don't have to. You can just play it like so, yeah. But if you want to add a bit more color, he does this thing where he uses the high string. So I'm gonna ditch the pinky here because I need it down there. All right. So I'm gonna go. Using my pinky and my ring finger on the high string whilst fretting the 4 chord here, like that. So just get used to kind of strumming and grabbing those notes with your high fingers here, or you can just brush. Alright, now that's a D string that we're using to play that little melody, and there's another D string here. So we can go. You could do either one of those, or just one of them, or none of them. It's up to you. Variations. So let's play the 1 chord to the 4 chord change using those ideas. He hits that 4 chord and then he hammers on with the pinky. So you've got these 3 fingers playing the dominant 4 chord, and then with your thumb on the right hand, brush through the 2 strings there and get to your index finger, and then you hammer on, like so, and then the high string open. So a good way to do this with the right hand is to take your ring finger on the high string, your middle finger on the next string, and your index finger. So you've got 3 strings covered, and the thumb is covering these 2 strings. That way you've got a finger everywhere you need one. and then you can just roll the thumb down those two. 1, 2, hammer on with the index, catch the open string, okay, and then hit the bass and do the turnaround I showed you at the start. I'll play that one more time. So from the 5 chord. That brilliantly mirrors the vocal line. He'll be doing like, baby, can't you see, no matter where you go, you'll never find another friend, find another friend, another. So it fits with the word another. Another friend like me. Okay. So that would be the turnaround. We go into the second verse now. So for this part, he jumps up to the 12th fret here. So you've got 12th fret, middle finger, 2nd string, index finger behind, and you're going to play like a dead thumb thing here. If you're not okay with keeping the thumb going whilst doing other things with your fingers, you can just play the high part and ignore the thumb. When we play the song together, there will be bass there doing what your thumb will be doing anyway, so it's not essential, but I like to play it that way. That's the style that I play in, and that's kind of how Jesse played too. Alright, so dead thumb. Into the 4 chord. Alright, so all of that's happening on the 1 chord. So this is the trickiest bit of the song in a way, because you've got to go practice that on its own, and if you ditch the thumb, you just tap your foot. And on, alright? And then when he comes out of that, he'll go into the 4 chord like this. Same turnaround as before. Play that one more time for you. Right, and then from there, he's going to take a solo. So where your middle finger ends up on that 5 chord, here, on the 4th string, just keep it there, ditch the other fingers and slide up to the 12th fret. Alright. So 12, 12, 10, 9, 3, open, all on the same string. And the detail he puts in here is done by the right hand. And I'll just walk you through how that works. So slide, bass, hang on. So the first thing to do, you're going to do most of the work here with your thumb, and I use my middle finger. You can use your index, whichever you prefer. I tend to have these 2 fingers kind of just resting on these 2 high strings. So when you do the slide, hit that note, and then hit the high string right after, and then the bass. So 1, 2, 3, and again, and then immediately you've got to jump to this note quickly. Excuse me. And again. Into the 4 chord. And then again. And then the turnaround. As before. first accompaniment one more time. Next solo, okay? We're going to take the same notes we used before. We're going to play them lower on the guitar here on the A string, the 5th string. Exactly the same grouping, exactly the same spacing, exactly the same notes, just in a different way. This time he's going to go do that 4 times, and then it's time to shift to the 4 chord. So all I'm doing here is sliding to the 5th fret and hitting the high string, and then I pull off. I hit it once and I pull off twice. So slide, high string, pull off. Alright. And then open string the first time. The second time, we just leave that suspending. So again. And again. 4 chords. Then he would play the final verse, and then there would be that final solo that he does, which is a thing of beauty. So you can have a crack at figuring that out yourself. I've got a little thing that I usually do, but keep that in my back pocket for now. We can look at that in the actual session next week, if you like. See how you get along with this. It is a complicated piece, so don't feel like you have to play all of these parts, but it's certainly a worthwhile study, and there's a lot of meat in this track, and if you want to advance your playing in open D tuning, there's a lot of tools here that you'll be able to use to play other songs. So good luck with that, have fun, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Cheers.